I'll take you for a ride on the devil's ship. I'll take you for a ride where you sink or swim. Now come with me and let this story begin.
Nick Drossos back in studio, here to defend yourself against a known rapist.
A no.
Poseidon?
I read that on Twitter. I'm like, okay, how do I answer that? Yeah, everybody's like, with this cancel culture, I'm like, okay, what do I do?
You just don't let him get to you. Protect your asshole at all costs.
That's hilarious.
Like, so how's the self-defense business been?
Good, man. I'm happy to be back. We were talking about it last time I was on your show. The first time was it 4 years ago?
First time was 2017, 2018.
2017. That's crazy, man. How I'm following how far you've come and how much stuff you've done.
It's only
in the
like
last
5
years.
blocks, bro. It's not that far. It's,
Yeah.
it's like 5 minutes away from where you first met me.
It's crazy. No, but the whole setup. I mean, it's really amazing what you've done.
Yeah, every time you come here, there's a new upgrade.
Yeah, no, I see the mics and everything. So, yeah, the self-defense is doing well. It's interesting because the business has grown for me. You know, like a couple of years ago, it was hard for me to get people to want to learn self-defense, to buy my courses. Now, since COVID and after COVID, it's like suddenly everybody wants to learn self-defense. People are reaching out to me. I'm doing seminars. I went to Ohio. I'm going to LA. Did one in Greece.
They want to defend themselves.
Yeah, more and more people are starting to be aware that shit's hitting the fan. And, you know, the idea that the police officers or the security or that somebody's going to be there at the time it's going to happen are slim to none. So there's been this awareness of more and more people. And it's interesting because the people who are taking my courses are 40 to 60. So, I mean, it's been good for me in terms of building these online courses and being able to sell them and market them and start really targeting into the US and doing more seminars.
So do you think that right now for you, this is your golden era?
You know, it's interesting because
Have you entered the golden age of Nick Drossos self-defense?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be now my 40s and even 50s. And I was trying to think, is it because more people want to learn self-defense? Is it because the industry changed, or is it because I'm older and now the people coming to me are like, imagine I was 25, 30. It's hard for me to train a 50-year-old who wants to learn self-defense. But now I'm in that age group where even in terms of fitness, men want to get in shape.
And you're showing them what's possible.
And like, I mean, even with my, you know, even as you get older, you can still learn self-defense. You can still get in shape. And I put all that together. So, I mean, it's interesting how it's changed the industry, and I'm able to follow. So I do think, like, from now moving forward, I think I'm in that golden age.
I think it's not just all. I think it's because you've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
You just have to do trial and error, and then it's incremental changes. You grow a bigger fan base slowly, and then you get to the point where you're like, "Oh, this is my golden age." But it's all the work you put into it. That's what it is. That's why it's something you can never do. Even if you're the best at 20, you can never get to the golden age because you haven't put in the work yet.
Good point.
And it's all incremental. That's how things grow. Even the podcast, that's how things grow. It's all you chip away at it.
But when you're young, you don't know that, right? You're thinking, okay, I want to be successful now. I want it to work now. And I'm realizing all those years where I was training, I was teaching, I wasn't as busy. I was literally, begging clients $20 so I can train them. I used to charge that. So all that was part of my training to get where I am today and be like, okay, so now, they're going to fly me to LA. I'm going to do a couple of seminars. I'm going to train law enforcement. But I realized all those times were training and preparation to get to that. Yeah. And I think that's what I try to, even my son, that's what I try to tell him. I go, Noah, it doesn't happen overnight. It's not a 1 year or 3 year. It's going to take at least 5 to 10 years before you actually start building a name, just getting people to know who you are. And then actually after 10 years, you actually start,
that's when it starts.
That's when
the
it
beginning.
starts.
Yeah.
I realize it now, but until you've been through the journey, you don't know it, and it's hard for you to teach it or tell somebody about it.
No, you have to live it. And same thing with weight loss, because you want to talk about weight loss since it's New Year's time, and people are gonna inevitably create a list for themselves and then never get to it. Part of that list is always the resolution.
Yeah.
To lose weight.
Yeah, and you lost 100 pounds.
I lost 100 pounds.
That's amazing. So like. Yeah. And
I lost it all at Walmart. I was walking fast. No, do you think, what's the biggest culprit you think of people not losing weight?
I would say it's discipline. Because people, I think it's discipline. So I see people, they're going to go, they're going to come see me. They're going to get a trainer. They're going to see a nutrition. They're going to do all of that. They have the motivation. They're pumped. They're going to do a vision board. They're going to do everything. They're going to be pumped to do it 1 week, 2 weeks, a month.
Yeah.
And then something's going to happen. They're not going to feel like it. They're going to get sick. They're going to feel like, oh, it's too cold. It's, there's
Burgers
always,
are delicious.
There's always a reason, but it's staying the course and being disciplined and doing it when you don't feel like it, when you're feeling down or depressed, or maybe things are not going your way. It's showing up. No matter how you feel, you just show up. That's what I try to tell people. And being structured with not saying, okay, I want to get in shape. I tell people, define what it means to get in shape.
Yeah.
I want to lose weight. Define what losing weight to you means. You have to break it down. Without clarity, it's
too vague.
It's too vague. And you need clarity. After clarity, then you could set your goals, and then you need a plan of execution with details. Like if you want to lose weight, you got to say, okay, when am I going to train? What time am I going to train? What day? What time? What am I going to eat? Everything has to be planned out, and everything has to be built around that, because there's always something that's going to come to throw you off track, where you're going to say, fuck it, I'm not going to do it next time. But that's where the discipline comes in.
Yeah, I was super disciplined. I gave up a lot of desserts. I gave up a lot of foods that I love in order to lose weight. And my goal, I didn't weigh myself till like 10 months or whatever, 11, when I was forced to, because Mike was asking. He's like, how much do you fucking weigh now? Yeah. Like, you look different. I didn't even realize, because I wasn't weighing myself. I just felt better, and I just kept doing it. And people would notice that I was shrinking, but I wasn't noticing, because I wasn't weighing myself. I was just, It was my life. This is how I live. I don't eat that anymore. This is just how I live. And then I weighed myself. I was like, God damn, it's a lot of fucking weight. Yeah. Had I noticed, it depends who you are. Like, if I would pay attention all the time, maybe it would fuck with me. But because I wasn't paying attention to how much I was losing, I never had the pressure.
I think that's the thing. And I tell some of my clients get obsessed with scales, right?
Who gives a shit? Because it could change. Because let's say right now I might go up a bit because I started training. Yeah. So let's say if it goes up a bit, but I look better, I feel better, I'm smaller. Who gives a shit what it writes?
Yeah, and I say that to clients who get obsessed with the scale. I'm like, okay, get rid of it.
So can you grab some waters?
Because when they start getting obsessed with the scale, they start looking at it, and when the results are not there, well, then they lose motivation. Yeah. Right. So the idea is get off the scale and just focus on what you're going to have to do, and just be consistent with it. So I think that's. And I mean, it's pretty simple. What did you do to lose weight? Because people think it's this complex way of doing it. And I
did it the easiest way. I just used common sense. I cut out bread completely and all the refined sugars. So desserts, candies, all sugar. Essentially. I would still eat what they told you about fruits and vegetables is nonsense. I would eat fruits and vegetables. I would eat a lot of fruits. I agree with that. Strawberries, watermelons, whatever you want. Cantaloupe. I love that shit. I never stopped eating any of that. Bananas, I never stopped eating any of that. Just actual sugar. Chocolate, I cut off. And bread. All the bread. No pasta. Yeah. And you lose, whether you want to or not. That's how your body, after a month, starts realizing you're not eating that fucking starch, all that shit anymore. It starts changing how it processes the rest of the stuff you're eating. And it was a lot of protein. It was a lot of meats, cheeses, and veggies. Simple. And just simple. Lost weight. Simple. This was without doing exercise. Then I started exercising, and it even helped even more. But this was even without exercise. I was losing all kinds of weight.
Did you do intermittent fasting?
Yeah, I do it, but like he knows, I don't really think about intermittent fasting just because the way I live my lifestyle. Yeah. I don't normally eat before 4 p.m.
Okay. So your first meal is at 4?
Normally, yeah.
And your last meal is?
It depends on the day, but it could be my first meal is at 4 and the last time I eat could be at 6 or at 8, depending on the day.
What do you mean? For 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. is your last meal?
It might be 6 or 8, but or it might just be at 4. Like I'll eat something and I won't eat again. Wow. Yeah, but because I got my stomach shrank, I guess, so I got used to. I don't need to eat, and then I'll snack. But I'll snack now. I'll snack on meats and cheeses, shit like that.
Don't you feel great
snacking?
No, like since you having eating less, like eating
I feel
1
better.
or 2 meals. Yeah,
I don't like feeling stuffed anyway. I don't like that greasy, heavy feeling. I don't like it anyway. And I keep telling people it's super doable. If I did it, trust, and I love eating, you could do it. Yeah. It's the first month you get used to. Plus, I drink a lot of coffee, so I'm distracted. I don't put sugar in my coffee. Yeah. I put cream though. So I'm distracted. If I'm hungry, I'm drinking coffee, and you forget. Or drink some water. Just forget about it.
Yeah, I think the way you do it is a lot of times the same approach I take with my clients. Do the intermittent fasting, cut out the bread, cut out the pasta, cut out the refined sugars.
And you see results fast.
You know what I mean? And go around your lifestyle. Like be
Yeah.
realistic with what you wanna create with your goals. And the average weight loss is 1 to 3 pounds, especially when you're building muscle, right? So it depends. Like if you're doing and if you're doing just cardio, if you lost weight, now you want to start building muscle.
Now I'm in the gym.
Yeah, now you want to lift weight. And it's funny because over the years, I mean, I started training when I was like 16 years old. It's been my whole life. And I've tried every type of diet, and, you know, all the fads that came out over the years, also the type of trainings. Whereas now, even for me, like I'm 46, I don't do the heavy training anymore. I go reps of 20, more controlled, because at our age, okay, I'm not.
But you're lean, you're good. You have muscle. Like,
Yeah,
you're good.
but I don't deadlift anymore. I hurt my back. If I go too heavy, my knees hurt. I said, you know what? Fuck what the research says. I go reps of 20, more controlled. I do 3 days of strength, 3 days of cardio, where I do like my MMA, my fighting, my wrestling, whatever it is. And more controlled, and just, you know, I pace myself through my workouts more than
you used to.
Yeah, there's stuff I don't do anymore. Because just not that my body can't handle it, but I always say, okay, risk over reward. And, you know, I can get seriously injured doing this. Is it worth it putting on a weight vest and doing box jumps? No. I'll take off the weight vest. I used to do one leg box jumps where with one leg, you got to jump on a box. I was like, you know, the next day my knee hurts a little bit. Okay, this is not worth it. Like, so I mean, I've kind of modified.
As you should.
But I feel stronger than ever. Also, one thing that I added that I didn't add. Every night I stretch. I do mobility.
Stretching helps.
Every night. I was like, who gives a shit about stretching?
No, stretching. I know. I play hockey still on Saturdays. I play ball hockey. When I do a good 10 minutes or more of stretching before, I'm so much looser, faster. I play so much better.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, like when you, and it sucks. Like, I mean, I got glasses, Pantelis.
Yeah, you're an old man.
I refuse to get glasses. I was like, I'm not getting glasses. I don't want to get them.
My friends are going to think I'm a nerd.
Yeah, my son was like, nerd.
Yeah.
Just a reminder that he's allowed to drive, huh?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Refuse to wear his glasses.
So
That sidewalk came out of nowhere.
I don't have a car anymore. Anyways, I Uber everywhere. I got rid of my car.
Why?
My lease was up, and I was
Isn't it going to get expensive just Uber everywhere?
No, because actually my gym is in my house,
That's true.
so I don't really go anywhere. And then I said,
If
okay,
you don't drive around a lot.
yeah. So I was I leased a car. It was $700 a month. I got like a hybrid Jeep, and then the grant didn't go through. And then they tell me it's $900. And then I'm like, I'm $900 for a Jeep that I'm barely gonna drive. So
Yeah,
I said,
that's
let me Uber. So I mean, I'm spending about $300-400 a month on Uber.
So you're saving money.
I'm saving money. Guy pulls up to my house. You know, no shoveling snow, no nothing. It's like, at the end, it's like, all right, why do I need a car? I'm like, screw it. So I'm just Ubering.
$900 a month for, especially if you're not driving around. It's
not worth it. Yeah.
So stupid.
Like if I was training clients on the road like I used to, yeah, because I get my Jeep, I put my logo on it, it's advertisement, I go to clients' homes, but I stopped. You know, COVID was the best thing for my business, man.
Oh, yeah.
It shifted my entire business. And unlike some trainers who took it bad or freaking out, I capitalized. I built my online business, my online courses. I was training a guy yesterday in Poland, train a guy in Russia, UK, everything online. So I was able to build my online business and completely scrap the home training and just remodel everything. And it was like, I think had it not been for COVID, I would have never done that leap.
You were never pushed to
I
online.
would have never pushed it because it's hard to convince clients, well, let's do it online. Well, why? You're paying me. I'm paying you to come to my house. Why would I do it online? So to them, they don't care as long as you train me. But if I'm paying for service for you to come here, I'm saying, well, I'm going to train you online. Then they're going to be like, but why? It's good for you, but it's not good for me.
Yeah.
But
online, as long as you have the setup and they could see you and all that, I think online's better, bro. You don't have a guy in your house. Just do it yourself and then you're done.
But that's what happened. After people started doing it, they were like, oh, I like it. More flexible schedule.
Yeah.
I can train them later, earlier. Nobody walks into your house.
Yeah.
There's still that, you know, you could 2 minutes before you could just, you know, be chilling and like you're still not waiting for somebody. I could train people while they're on vacation so they don't miss a workout. So many benefits to online, and It's crazy how many businesses shifted, had to remodel, restructure. But if you found the opportunity, you'd be able to create something. So it really, it's part of being an entrepreneur, I guess.
Yeah, you got to be willing to shift. We moved in here during the pandemic. We pushed very hard online to get the podcast
true,
everywhere.
It's through the pandemic you did this.
Yeah. We left at the peak. Like, we left, people thought we were insane when we came because there was nothing here. Right? It was all empty. They had to build it for us. So it was just people like, what the fuck are you doing during... But in my head, I had seen the opportunity because in my head, I thought I could get a longer lease.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
And keep it cheaper because I had the rates of during that time.
Oh, that's smart. Were you nervous to doing that?
Super. Ask him. I was when I was signing the contract, I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, it's part of being an entrepreneur, man. I tell people being an entrepreneur is a bipolar experience.
It's completely insane.
It's like one day you're like, yeah, the next day, shit. The next day you're like, great idea, I'm going to do this. The next day you're like, scrap it. It's like a roller coaster. And I tell people if you don't have a lot of if you don't have like strong character or strong will, like don't bother going into it because it's...
To try and start your own business?
Yeah.
It's
so hard.
It's only lunatics should do this.
Yeah. It takes a lot of character to stay the course and the roller coaster rides with up and highs and lows. And
so that's something we don't talk about. People think it's bad to not have your own business or you have to do it. You don't. It depends what you want and what your job is. But a lot of times what you're doing, you'd be way happier just doing the 9 to 5. You're making your good money. You have your vacations. You know you're set instead of working 70 hours a week and doing all the shit that we do. Like I'm always working.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like that. A lot of people can't live like that.
But I
could. It's the only way I know how.
So I told my son, I go, Noah, because he said, Dad, like, I don't know if I want to be an entrepreneur. Then he told me, I go, look, Noah, there's benefits and drawbacks to everything.
Yeah.
If you're happy with going to work 9 to 5, getting your pay, coming home,
you like structure and you know that, it is what it is and there's no surprises.
No surprises.
I could take my vacation when I need to.
Yeah.
I have, all I need is, my weekends with my family. Then why would you risk all that, take a chance and ruin everything to do the shit that I do? Don't.
Like I did it when I was working at the hospital. I was working 7 to 3:30. I mean, you come home, slap on the barbecue, eat, watch TV. Like there was, once I finished my shift, I didn't think of anything. As an entrepreneur, you're always on, always. Like people don't realize, like I woke up at like 1 a.m. till 3 and I was thinking shit about my business because I'm creating a new course. From 1 to 3 a.m. I was like, okay, how am I going to put this together? Okay, I'm going to do, like, who does that? But
me.
Yeah, there's an obsession there and it takes that to make it. But like I was telling my son, like, there's nothing wrong with you having that secure, safe, 9 to 5, you have a better quality of life with your kids.
Yeah, in most cases, it's actually better.
Yeah.
The only time is when what you want to do and what makes you really happy doesn't really exist, and you have to create it. You know what I mean? Like for me, there's no other way. I'm happiest when I'm podcasting, when I'm doing stand up. Yeah. There's no stand up office I can go to or podcast office I could go to. It's impossible. So in order to fulfill that, I had to start my own thing. I had to create something that didn't exist. It was the only way. But for most stuff, if you like it and fucking someone already built something, take advantage of that.
But it's something else. Like I look at it now because I experienced both. There's something else about being, this is my business. It's my sweat, my success, my failure. Everything I do depends on me. I can't blame anybody for it. So whether I go high or low,
some people aren't built for that.
It's all on me. A lot of people are not built for it. And that's why so many people quit. If I tell people, if I made you watch a video of the last 10 years of my life, you'd probably quit at year 2 being like, this shit's not worth it. Like,
that is absurd.
I remember one of the first clients I got, and I talk about this. I had a $2,000 shitbox car with holes in it. I get to this house in Hampstead. The guy's walking out at 6 a.m. and he tells me, he goes, I heard you pull up, with your car, because it was like the muffler was like boom, 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 boom. And then I realized, shit, I can't be getting these clients and driving with the shitbox. So you know what I used to do? I used to park my car 2 blocks away and I used to walk to the client's house. And they used to tell me, where's your car? Why don't you park in the driveway? Oh, I was with a client over there at this, I left it over there because I didn't want them to see my car. Or you want to hear the best story? I walk into a client's house. I was training her for 3 months. She tells me, Nick, I don't want to train today, but can you clean my bathroom?
No, don't say that. That's insane, bro. Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, she goes, I go, excuse me? She goes, I'm not in the mood to train, but can you clean my washroom? Now, okay, I gotta talk about this story, right?
Oh, bro, I'm agitated.
So
It doesn't make any sense. They're not.
So here's the thing, right? Because she was a great woman. She was going through a lot of stuff in her life, and like I was training her for 3 months. I needed the money. I was just building my business, and I know she was overworked, doing a lot of stuff. At that particular day, she didn't want to train, and she asked me to clean her bathroom. And I remember thinking, like, what? She goes, yeah, can you just clean my bathroom? Like, and I remember thinking, my math was very simple. Okay, Nick, you used to work at the hospital. You were making $16 an hour. You're making $75 now for 45 minutes. You need the business. Fuck, I got to go buy milk and do the groceries. Like, I did this. Okay, do you have the products? Clean the bathroom. I cleaned it. I was like, fuck it, took the money and I went out. And I remember, like, there was a part of me that felt like, did I sell myself short? Should I be embarrassed for what I did at the end? I said, you know what? And today
I would have asked for double.
I said, but you know what? And I try to say this because somebody wrote to me when I shared this story. Oh, you degraded yourself. I go, you know what's degrading? Sitting at home broke, having no money, making excuses. I mean, I got paid well to do something that I did for less than $20 an hour. And I mean, and it's funny because half the time she would ask me after that to help her do stuff in the house. I was like, fuck it. You know, I wouldn't do it today.
Yeah.
But I give that example for
what I had to go through to get here.
Like, I needed it so bad when I was, and the ironic part is I got a client from her that I trained for almost 10 years and trained with me 3 times a week. So you never know the network of, she was a great, she did it respectfully, by the way. It wasn't like, you know, like
Clean my bathroom, bitch.
Yeah, it wasn't like that. No, it would have been, screw you, I don't give a shit. But I mean, it was done in a respectful way where she was just kind of, didn't want to train, and I was there and I was like, but I mean, that's a little bit of, to me, what it takes to make it. And I give that as an example.
I see what you're saying.
It's like, I hired a guy one time and I said, okay, this guy posted, I'm looking for work. I'll do anything on Facebook. So I said, come see me. I said, okay. I said, you need a job. I need somebody to clean my gym 3 times a week. I'm going to pay you this much. He comes to me, goes, I don't clean toilets. I said, you don't clean toilets? I go, who do you think cleans my toilets? I go, I do. I go, you think you're better than my toilets? You think
you're better than me?
I go, you just told me you're broke and you can't pay your car and your phone and you need money. I tell you I have a job for you, but you're telling me you're not going to clean my toilets. So this is a little bit that entitled.
Yeah.
So I don't clean toilets. I don't do this. I don't work overtime. I don't do more. Like, this type of mentality is the type of mentality that will never get you anywhere.
Because you're acting like you're entitled to the reward as if you've already made it to that place, but you're not putting in the work. Because we all had to do shitty things to get to where we're at. Yeah.
Everybody. Like, I'm sure, like, you went through stuff building this. You're probably here till 2 a.m, putting on screws, doing shit.
Forget that. That's nothing. It's everything leading up to that was just crazy.
Yeah. Like, and I think, like, I mean, for us, and I think that goes whether you're a podcaster, whether whatever business entrepreneur. I've spoken to so many entrepreneurs because I love hearing their stories, and all of them have a crazy story, from sleeping in their car to traveling to doing things that were like ridiculously hard, or things at some point they were like, okay, this is just crazy. But I mean, those are the moments that test your will.
Yeah, your resolve.
Like, how tough, how much grit do you have? And I was watching a thing on a TED Talk, and she talked about grit, which is passion, perseverance, and your ability to stay the course when challenges show up. And they did a study with all the kids in university, military, and the kids who made it the most successful were not necessarily the smartest, the most highest IQ, all that. It was the kids, the people who had the most grit. That means whatever happens, you stay the damn course, and you don't get off it.
Yeah, you have to fight through it.
Fight through it no matter what happens.
Oh, dude, that's the whole game, especially in entertainment, podcasting, or you never make it. It's just, you have to stay the course, and you build incrementally.
Incrementally, I like that word. It's true.
But that's what it is. Nothing happens. Everyone thinks so. They see the final product, and they're like, that's so easy.
Yeah, it's true.
Look
like, I'm sure you get it. You're like,
I get it all the time.
I could do this podcast. Really?
Yeah.
Let me take you from scratch. Start it. Let me see you do it from scratch.
I've brought people in here that what scratch? I've given them everything. I'm like, here you go, do a podcast, and they fucking can't.
They fuck it up. Yeah, it's hard. It's not. It's not easy, and it takes balls to do what you do. Like I'm out there in just one specific field. You're out there with all this cancer culture, all this, social media, people like, coming after you for everything. So I could imagine the stress you have, especially now with everything you say. At any point, people could just shit on you.
Yeah, of course. Then they do. Yeah.
How do you deal with it?
I don't care, bro. I'm parc-ex.
You don't give a shit though. Yeah. You're like fucking parc-ex style. Have you said that?
I don't give a fuck, bro. Like I don't know these people. It's it's the meme of the Thanos meme where it shows the Scarlet Witch from the movie, and she's like, I unfollowed you, and Thanos is like, I don't even know who you are. Like that. But that's what it really is. Like it's not gonna stop because I've already said it. The only people that need to be worried about being like canceled or whatever, like actual canceling, is if you're you're a rapist, you're a murderer, you're a racist, like actual shit that's cancelable. Jokes or my opinion or because I'm none of those things. Like I don't want to hurt people. I'm not. Yeah. So I don't worry because the rest is just I don't like his opinion on this. I don't like this, and you're stupid for it. It's not a real thing. Yeah. It's just someone's opinion. It's not a real. That's why I'm not worried because I don't do anything bad. I don't hurt people. Like I don't do anything to be nervous about. So you don't like my opinion. It can't hurt my. I don't care.
You don't care.
That's your opinion. That's fine. You have to have it because in order for me to have mine, you have to be entitled to yours. That's the way.
But it's crazy now.
I don't give a fuck.
Social media, like
unless you're physical, if you want to come and burn shit down, fight me, then I'll be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But in general, you could say I don't give a fuck.
You don't give a shit.
It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything. People have said, dude, 2 years ago when we first opened this place up. We were like, we're getting comments, hateful. People were like, it's gonna fail. A few months, you're done. You're gonna be bankrupt.
Who's saying shit
online?
Like
on we had the people on our YouTube and shit. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, there was one guy that we actually found out by coincidence. A guy that we knew, like a third party, knew who that person was.
I remember.
Yeah, you remember?
No,
and
wait, this is somebody you knew?
I didn't know him personally, but we knew we had a common person because I remember the comment, and I was like, "Is he okay?" And then he goes, "Actually, no, this guy's a mental." And he told me his story. You remember?
It's the same guy that did death threats to me.
It was the same guy that did death threats to you, yeah. And then we heard from the third party.
He's from here, Montreal.
From here, Montreal, yeah, or Laval now. I think still Montreal. He was in Villeray at one point, but we found out his actual story. The guy's a mental patient, and I was like, "You can't lose sleep over this. That's crazy. The guy's a dumbass."
But why did he hate you guys? Like, what was?
Because we were doing stuff that he wasn't.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah. We did nothing against the guy, just shit that. But you can't if you let all that consume you, it'll never end. Because the internet is unending.
Yeah.
If for every Tom, Dick, and Harry says, "I don't like what you're doing, stop doing it," you're like, "All right, I'll stop." Then you're never gonna do anything.
I get that on YouTube. Stop teaching. You're gonna get people killed. Okay, man, I'll stop.
You're gonna get people killed.
Just for you, I'm gonna stop teaching. Yeah, absolutely. Like I agree. And sometimes when I hear comments like, "Oh, this is shit that doesn't work," okay. I always break it down to very simple. What part? What part out of my 7-minute video doesn't work? All of it. And then like it doesn't what the elbow, the awareness part, it can't be.
But trying not to escalate doesn't work. Like what part?
Yeah, so
because that's always your step one is always try not to escalate. Your steps are always de-escalate. If you can't, then this is what you gotta do.
Yeah. So like I mean I break down self-defense. Like, okay, guy, I talk about awareness, then how to diffuse, how to de-escalate. So when they tell me it all doesn't work, I'm like, the awareness part doesn't work? Like what part?
People are just angry. People are just, but you can't take it. I know a lot of guys that they take it to heart. We have friends like that, comedians that just take everything. They get one comment and it fucks their whole week up.
Yeah.
Oh, this and that. I'm not built that way. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't give a, because most of these people, it's stuff that they say on the internet that they'll never be able to say in your face.
Yeah.
Like I've met people that said something on the internet and then they say something completely different in my face.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, hey, you fucking
fire.
That's what I thought. That's why you can't let it consume you. But as much as I say it, people don't listen to me. I tell them, don't let it consume you. And they let themselves get fucking consumed by it. It's not real. Who gives a fuck, bro?
It's like, and I was saying, I got my first actor point, right?
Yes.
So when I was going to go back, I was saying, when I did acting between 25 and 27 or 24, 5 years, I did 100 auditions. I never got one.
Yeah, it's very hard.
To the point I was like, screw this acting. That's when I decided to open my YouTube channel. I said, you know what? I'm going to do what I love. I'm going to teach self-defense. I'm going to do it in front of the camera. I'm going to perform. It's the same thing. That's why I started my YouTube channel. Then I had a plan. I'm going to build my business. I'm going to build online. I'm going to build passive income. and then I'm going to come back to my acting. I knew I was going to come back. I just didn't know
And that's what
when.
you're doing now.
Yeah. And then I did. Then I decided I was going to come back into my acting, got an agent. I did 6 auditions. On my 7th, I got my first actual role. But what was funny about that is that a few people, more acquaintances, yeah, bro, you're going to be an actor, bro. Haha. Aren't you a little bit too old? Like my
Oh, obviously.
And but there's also people that will hold you back. If you listen to people, people are, sometimes they say it as a joke, but sometimes there's jealousy, there's envy. There's how come he has the balls to do it and not me?
Yeah.
So you can't listen to people.
So I try to give this advice, but not everyone listens. That's why I tell them, don't. If you're good at something and you know, the only advice you take is from someone whose advice matters.
Good
So
point.
I'm never going to take these people's advice on podcasting, stand-up. They don't do what I do. They're not in it. They're people, you know, we'll call them haters or whatever. Don't take that. Take it from someone who knows. Like, I'll ask if I have, like, stand-up, tour, all that. I'll go to Mike. Mike's been doing this for longer than I have. Yeah. Mike's done small tours, big tours, podcasts, small podcasts, big podcasts, record-breaking Bell Center podcast. So I'll ask someone who's in the know. And if he tells me, that's stupid, that's a bad idea, don't do this, don't do that, I'll listen to him because it's constructive, you know?
And he's done it.
He already knows. Like Poseidon will have questions to me sometimes about stand-up or about podcasting. He'll ask me. And I'll talk, bro, here's the fucking truth. And then I'll listen and he'll tell me, well, this other person gave me different advice. And the other person is not in this field at all. I'll be like, but that's why they give you different advice. Because they see it from the outside, not from the inside. That's why you always go to the people that know, that have done it before you. Ask them. Never ask the people that don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Good point.
How the fuck are they going to give you advice? That's like me giving you advice on surgery. You have to do a surgery and I'm going to give you advice. The fuck do I know about surgeries?
Good point.
I don't know anything about fucking surgeries. Don't ask me. Ask another doctor.
But you know what? You're right. It's so true. And there was one thing about having my son and he's sitting there and he listens to me sometimes and I try to mentor him, things that my parents never told me.
Yeah.
My dad never told me this shit. And I told him, I said this to my son. I go, I'm telling you things because I don't want you to grow old one day and say, my dad never told me. I want to know that even if you don't get it today, at least I told you about it. And one of the things I said, you can't live your life caring about what people think. Accept the people that matter, accept the people that have done it, accept the people who you look up to and are talking from the same, that share the same values of you.
So the same values and are in the same boat and by that, I don't mean you have to just listen to your friends. Sometimes you have to ignore your friends.
Yeah, it's true. So true.
Because it depends. It's all context is what matters. Like in stand-up, right? And like I said, if you're talking about, let's say self-defense right now. Yeah, it's fun. Me and you could talk about entrepreneurship because we both build stuff.
Yeah.
But we can't have a conversation together about self-defense. And I could tell you that because I don't have that experience in self-defense. I don't know. All I know is what you show me. I don't know how to create that course. I don't know how to properly, in a situation where someone comes at me with, I don't know, a fucking machete, what to do. You do. So I can't give you tips on that. But a lot of people accept that. They accept the outside and then they let them bring it down and they don't do it. Yeah. Or they do it the wrong way. They listen. Or there's some people that are just not good at shit. There's shit that I haven't been good at my whole life. And then people are like, you should do this or whatever. And it turns out I was terrible at that. I should have never even tried it. It's not for me. But you have to know. You have to take advice from the right people and learn how to ignore certain people. Yeah. But a lot of friends, man, that I know just take advice or criticism from everyone. So they let anyone bring them down. Yeah. And they let anyone push them in the wrong direction. Yeah. You can't be that way, man. You have to be sturdy. You have to be you have to be an adult. You have to take the good and the bad, formulate a conscious thought, and go the right way. Yeah. You can't just let people push you places or hold you back from places.
And I think a good thing I could share is when I was working at the hospital and I was thinking about starting my personal training business. When I spoke to the people at the hospital, they're like, well, why would you quit the hospital? You have benefits and you have security and this and that.
I heard the same thing.
That was their highest value. That was important.
But that's important to them.
When I spoke to my friend who's an entrepreneur, Stefano, I go, Stefano, I'm thinking of opening a business. He goes, yeah, get the fuck out of there. Go open your business. Of course. They're each talking from what's most important to them.
You have free. So me, for example, I know my biggest thing was like, if you're going to go a couple of years, you're not going to get a paycheck because it's your own business or whatever. So you're not putting your pension. You're not gonna, but my goal was like, you care about your pension, which is nothing, by the way. And by the time we're of age, this country's not going to have the money. My goal is not to get an allowance from the government. That's not my goal.
I agree.
My goal is to try my best if I could escape the matrix. And when I'm that age, I don't need the government
100%.
or I'm dead. Yeah. But I don't need the government. That's my goal. My goal is to die or not need the government by that age. So I don't have that problem. Like, I don't, fuck it. I don't give a shit.
But I remember the hospital would tell me, well, you have benefits. So then I calculated my benefits and I said, okay, I'm staying for the benefits. Then I looked into buying private
insurance.
and I'm like, it comes out to the same thing, yet I'm paying for it. And I'm waiting to do a shitty job that I hate for 30 years so I can get a pension, then I could live. And I would see them at the hospital. They'd retire at 65, 70, and the guy a year later has a stroke. So it made no sense to me. And I said, you know what? And it's interesting because the first 2-3 years, Pantelis, I made no money.
Yeah.
I made
you're telling me,
no money. I was like, I was living and everything I was making was going back into my business. It's only after, year 5, I was like, okay, I'm starting to make money. So imagine how much freaking work goes behind that. A lot of people don't have that resilience, and to suffer, to not have money, not be able to buy your kids stuff, not be able to go to Greece. A lot of people won't go through that sacrifice. They're going to shortcut their way. They're going to take the quick result now and not the long term, and be able to suffer a little bit,
You can't avoid the suffering. Dude, Poseidon's like adjacent to me, right? Poseidon didn't start this with me. Poseidon came in after, and he fucking suffered. He went through periods of time where he's like, you know what? I want my career to be in this universe. I want it to be in podcasting. I want it to be at stand-up, because during Mike's tour, we brought him on as, he was basically behind the scenes. He was the guy that was supposed to manage everything behind the scenes, like the sound, lights, make sure it all works, deal with the actual theaters. So that was new to him. He never had experience in that, but that's what he learned he wanted to do. But he had to suffer, because before he got that, when he had to quit everything else, he wasn't making any money. He was making very little money. So he went through, he's like, I have a choice. I can either quit all this stuff, go get a 9-to-5, and I'll have the money that I want, but I give up this dream. And he said, fuck it, I'm going to try, I'm going to last a little bit longer than this, And then he got to do the tour. But a lot of people in his shoes would have given up way before, because he would have been like, no, I want to fucking get a regular paycheck again. Yeah. But because it's the ups and downs. You remember that?
And there's still a lot of road.
There's still, dude, that's what I keep telling people is I still suffer. People think you made it. I've never made it. Him too, he still
You never truly make it.
You never truly make it.
You only make it as far as how far you're willing to suffer on the opposite end.
Yeah, and how happy you are.
Good point.
Yeah. So I try to tell people, don't look. That's why I tell kids, be careful with social media, because because adults do it too. They look at social media and they see people that are on the beach or happy, and they think that's the perfect life. I want to live that. No one's having a perfect life. Yeah. Like, everyone has different struggles. It's normal for you to have struggles. You should have struggles. It's just the way life is. It's part of the human condition. You're gonna go through shit. You have to learn how to persevere through it. Yeah. Find what's important to you and work towards making that your life. Things that are important to you, whether it's your family, your career, whatever the fuck it is, and do that. Don't let people distract you because of their posts. Yeah. Be like, oh, they have it made, I'm never going to do it. You could do whatever the fuck you want. Yeah, I believe no one's going to. And whoever tells you can't, unless it's something, I don't know, unless it's a one-legged person who's like, I'm going to be in the NHL. Yeah. You can't. That's, you have to live with it. Because a lot of people that take what I say and they're like, you said I could fucking do it, so I'm going to do this. You have no arms, but you can't be a fireman. Just stop it.
Yeah, you're right. There's certain conditions that you
can do. If you have the aptitude for it and you're good at it, you can do anything. Yeah. But, I'm never going to be Miss America. There's a lot of reasons why.
I don't know. There's a lot of, you never know.
Even by today's standards, they won't let me.
A little bit of plastic surgery.
No, but there's a lot of reasons why. But I'm just saying, there's stuff that you just can't. It's not for you. It's not. I know there's things that I'm never gonna be able to do, and it's fine. You have to go with your strengths and aptitudes. Don't take it globally and then fail repeatedly at shit that you shouldn't even be trying. Yeah. And then you're like, you see, they told me I should keep trying, and now I'm just failing. I did the right. Also be smart with it. Yeah, you know what I mean? What I'm trying to say is, let's say you're a very good cook. You're a very good cook, and you want to be a chef. And you're like, it's too hard. I got to do all these out. No one's going to. No. If you're good, you fucking go. Because you're going to be somewhere where they're going to appreciate you and you're going to grow. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say, is you have to actually have the skill set for it. Because I know there's a lot of people are going to misunderstand what the fuck I'm saying. Yeah. And they're going to go waste their time.
And the reward is huge. Like, I wake up every day and I say this honestly. I love what I do. I love what I
always wanted to sing.
Oh, yeah?
It's never going to happen. Terrible voice.
Why?
It's terrible. I don't have the singing. My mom she had the singing voice. I don't have it.
Wait, if you took singing classes?
No, I don't trust me. I don't have it.
You've
I don't
heard
have
me
the
sing,
rhythm.
right? And my Greek songs?
Yeah, I've heard you say, I don't have the rhythm. I don't have any, and the stuff I like to sing is very loud. I don't have it. I know I don't have it. Okay. So I understand that. I've come to terms with it's never going to happen for me because I don't have that skill set. Even if I work at it, I'm always missing something. It's just not for me. Okay. Whereas stand-up, I can never teach what I have in stand-up. I can't teach it to someone. So I know what my strengths are.
Yeah.
You get it? You have to be self-aware.
Yeah. You have to know before you do anything. I tell you, you need to know your algorithm. Know who you are first. That's what I say. Know your algorithm. Be honest with yourself with what you can and cannot do, or what at this moment, what your abilities are, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. You need to know that.
Double down on your strengths.
Yeah, you know.
Whatever you're good at, double down on that. Bet on yourself. Put all the money on you and be like, okay, this is my strength. I'm gonna double down on that. Don't double down on a dream if it coincides with your strength. But some people, they double down on a dream that they're not capable of.
Yeah.
They don't have any aptitudes for it, and they lose everything. Yeah. And then they say, you shouldn't follow your dreams. It's like, yeah, but you have to have a logical dream too.
Yeah, that's true. You have to have a logical dream and, again, be realistic
A lot of restaurateurs, did you know that? A lot of people who open up restaurants are like ex-lawyers, people who like to eat at restaurants but don't know. And then after a while, they lose everything. And they don't want to give up. They don't want to admit that it failed, so they lose everything.
Like, I worked as a kid. I worked as a busboy. I worked as a suiteur and stuff like that. And I would see the difference between restaurant owners who've worked in the field and others who didn't. The ones who worked in the field knew what they were doing. When I went to them with any type of problem, they were able to do it. The rest were like, had no clue how to deal with it. Their dream was to open a restaurant.
That's it.
But actually never worked in a restaurant. And I tell people, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, learn all the aspects of your business inside out. You might not be able to do them at 100% all, but you should know even how the dishwasher runs.
1,000%.
Because you still need those plates. And if you don't know how to do that, so I mean,
I've been a dishwasher.
You've been a dishwasher?
Yeah.
I did it. I mean, I would do it. I've done it a couple of times. I used to work at Globe. Remember Globe back in the day?
Where was that?
It was on Saint Laurent. It was like, Nicolas Cage would go there, Sylvester Stallone, all those guys. I met
just to make sure your dishes are clean.
I met Sylvester Stallone actually. I was working in Mediterraneo at the time. I was 22. So he walks in and I hear Sylvester Stallone is coming. And I'm like, fuck, I want to meet him. And I see him. And then
was he big?
No, bro, he was like this. I'm like, that's not fucking Sylvester Stallone. And he's like, where's the bathroom? I'm like, like, it's over here, sir. So
he's just another Italian guy.
He's like this small guy. I'm like, and then he gave me his autograph, which I still have. It was so funny. I'm going to sound really douchey with what it was my dream to be an actor so much. So I gave him the card and I go, can I have your autograph? He goes, sure. I go, can you write, see you in 5 years? He's like, okay, so see you in 5 years. Because I
trying to psych yourself up.
Yeah, to like in 5 years, I'm going to make it to see him. So, and I still have it. And I met Pierce Brosnan.
James Bond.
I have his autograph too. And so I met a lot of the celebrities like working like on the street. So it was
when you were working in restaurants at the time?
Restaurants, and then I was doing the door at Wax and the Coquino Lounge and stuff like that. How'd
you like that lifestyle?
Oh man. Look, when you're young, you like it. You like the attention, I was like in the cool place, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back then when,
So you felt like you were missing out. You were
I was like in Globe, Mediterraneo, Buonanotte. I was in the cool places, meeting the cool people. Everybody wanted to be there. Then I was the doorman at Wax Lounge. Then I went to Coquino, you know what I mean? I was promoting. I was working the door. I mean, looking back at it today, I mean, believe it or not, there's still a lot of skill sets I learned. I learned how to communicate with people, how to talk to them. I was promoting. I was making more money than both my parents together at 20 years old.
I believe that. Yeah. Back in the day, nightlife in Montreal, dude.
$1,000 a week cash. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm 20 years old. I blew it all.
Obviously.
Going out, partying.
That was the Poseidon story.
I was like, I was going crazy, but there was a lot of things that came, that I learned a lot of skills, from, again, promoting and being in that. But when I look back at it, there's also it came with a lot of shitty experiences, shitty nightlife and people. And like, I never did drugs, but I was surrounded by that and gangsters and mobsters back in those days. You know what I mean? So I lived all that.
I hate that part of nightlife. I always didn't like it. The drunkenness, I'm lucky now because now I work in nightlife, obviously, because of stand-up. Yeah. But the good thing is because it's stand-up, you don't really see much of that. Like everyone comes, like you get some drunk hecklers, whatever, it'll happen. But in general, people are fine. They're out to have a good time. Yeah. It's not the same as kids partying. You get it?
Yeah.
So I don't see. It's mostly fun.
Yeah.
I don't really.
So
I'm in the nightlife, but I don't have to deal with that bullshit.
I was in the Vito Rizzuto days and the Joe DeMalo days and all these guys, right?
Must have been fun.
A funny story if you want to. It's a funny story. The way I started working at Coquino, the nightclub, was Joe DeMalo. You remember? You know Joe DeMalo was, yeah, like a main mobster, and I was working at Globe Restaurant, and I was serving him the plates. And he was, I don't know, maybe 15. He's with his young girlfriend.
He was 15?
He was 50.
Okay, yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
He was like 50 maybe. I can't remember. Like, I mean, and he had a younger girl or whatever that was with him. And I'm serving him the plates. He goes, I like you. You're a good kid. You're a good kid. What's your name? I said, my name is Nick. He goes, I like you. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. You know what? He goes, you're going to come work at the club for me. I'm like, oh, thank you for the offer. But, I'm working here, And then one of the owners came up to me. He's like, yeah, go home, get dressed. You're going to go work for Joe tonight at the club. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah.
The same day?
Yeah, like at the night. He's like, yeah. Leave everything, go home, get dressed. I go, like, what do you mean? He goes, Joe said you work at the club.
You work at the club.
Get dressed, go to the club. What he says goes. I'm like 19 at this time, maybe. I'm like,
did he tell you what he wanted you to do at that club? Was it a different job?
He's like, no, just get there. And I'm like, okay. I remember. I'm like, what else am I gonna do? Drive home, get changed, get dressed nice, come back, go to the door, go inside. I see the guys like, okay, you're a doorman at the club. Make sure everybody pays. Okay, that's how I got into the clubs.
Oh fuck!
And then I started doing security, and then I started promoting over there at the club. I was making a shit load of money as a kid.
How were you promoting? What were you doing to promote at the club at the time?
Which it's funny because Sam was promoting Saturday night, and I was promoting Friday night.
Sammy.
That's how we used. It's funny. We never.
Sammy was one of the best club promoters.
Yeah,
he was known for it. Yeah.
Like
you didn't know that?
No, I knew he promoted his own shows.
Oh, but that's why he was so good at promoting his own shows. Dude, he had experience promoting the biggest clubs here.
But this is where I say the skill sets that we got.
Yeah.
Like as much as people say, "Oh, you're just a doorman or you're just a promoter." One, I was making when I was promoting
because of that. Sammy's his own media corporation because of that experience. So yeah, it helps.
Yeah, because at that age, like I was already promoting the nightclub, and I was Friday night. I remember it was me and my friend John. And the Friday nights was dead. I'll tell you a crazy story. You're going to laugh your head. This is a true story.
What were you doing though, promoting? Were you doing streeters? Like you were on there just howling on the street?
Yeah, like, I mean, this was the old way. No social media. The flyers, you're out promoting.
And you're talking to people.
You got to go out there, meet people, promote. So we said we're going to build this Friday night. So we were going out giving flyers. The first 2 months, we were just hyping it up. Then when we opened the Friday night, it was free. It was packed. The club. And the deal was with Joe. I mean, he's passed, got shot.
God
he's
rest
dead.
his soul.
Yeah. He told us, you guys keep the door, everything that the door makes, and we take the alcohol.
That
was
such
the
a
deal
good deal
at the time. But the Friday night was dead, so I'm like, okay, screw it. Let me, So I told John, let's make some money. We started promoting the night. It was free for the first month and a half.
That's a hit that you take?
Yeah, it's a hit you take. We're door to door. I'm doing this full time. No social media. Going in. I remember we'd go to Rocklands. He would go to this place. I would go there, come in, talk to everybody. Then we're charging $8 a head. Now you have, maybe at $8 a head, you'd have like 200, 300 people pay. That's a lot of money for some young kids walking out with cash, $1,500, $2,000. Like we're making serious money in one night. And funny story, at one point we start making more money. You have 400 people, 500 people paying. So I'm walking out with thousands of dollars, and I am, this kid with so much money. Again, making more money than both my parents.
Most people's parents, yeah.
And I mean, it came with the lifestyle of going out and doing all that. And then one day, true story, you're going to crack up. Joe DeMalo calls us in his office. He goes up to me, I want to have a meeting with you kids, We're kids. We're 20 years old.
Yeah.
We sit down. I remember he's at the office. Another guy there. It's me and John. It's like, you guys are good kids. You're good kids. Yeah, it's a lot of money for you kids. It's a lot of money. He goes, we're going to cap you. I'm like, cap us? Like, what does that mean? He goes, well, it's a lot of money for you kids. So we're only going to give you $300 a night, and the rest we're keeping. Because it's a lot of money for you kids, so you know. And I remember like being like,
I quit.
I'm like pissed off. I walk out, me and John, I'm like, I remember I was like, John, this is bullshit. What is this, bro? We're gonna goes, yeah, bro. You want? Go tell him. Go tell him you want to see the contract. Go tell that you want to see the papers.
No papers. Just be like, look, can we make a better deal? How about you cap us at 1,000?
So it was like, it was kind of, we just said, you know what? He goes, bro, there's nothing we could do. Just take what you have. Let's make as much as we can and enjoy it. And that's what we did. But it was funny. Like I could talk about it now because it's almost 25 years ago. So, I mean, it was a lifestyle that, I mean, it's interesting. Like I look at back now and when you're going to have kids, there's stuff that you've seen or done. You're like, I hope
I got to warn them. Yeah.
I hope my son, I'd rather he doesn't ever live that type of life. Again, working in securities, I've been shot at. I've seen people get stabbed. I've seen fights. And I look back, it helped me as a self-defense instructor.
But you don't want someone to go through that. You don't want your kid to go through that.
I don't. I mean, for me, it was like, well, you know, it was a lot of money for me. You know what I mean? And I mean, I was, you know, I left the house when I was young. I was off, you know, unlike the kids today, I was off my parents' payroll. At 13, I was working 2 jobs. At 16, I was already working. At 18, I was like figuring out my own thing. It wasn't like, you know, it was different back then, you know, plus my parents both, you know, my dad's cleaning buildings, my mom's in a factory. So from a young age, I had to learn how to like, you know, make money and go out and work, you know, and I never did anything criminal. It was always legal. I just worked hard and did whatever I had to do, you know what I mean? So yeah, I promoted, I worked in clubs, I managed the restaurant, I was a busboy, I was a suiteur, you know, so, but it was all experiences that taught me so much. You know, worked at McDonald's for 1.5 years, 2 years, flipping burgers. You learn a lot when you work in that job, man. It's military. If you're late a minute, you're late, you know what I mean? So, I mean, it's all stuff that as
you heard that, Poseidon?
Go fuck
You heard that, Poseidon?
What? Military?
No, just because he had a thing, because people were telling him, like, he was late. He's like, bro, I wasn't late. He goes, it was 2 minutes late. That's not late in my book. And then I was trying to explain to him, I go, your book doesn't matter. In society's book,
It's late.
you're late because they have a time. And also any real, and I meant like, I was thinking McDonald's and all. I remember when I was at Harvey's, if you're not 15 minutes early, they consider you late.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm telling you, I'm not making this up.
No,
Poseidon.
no.
If you're not 15 minutes, I remember the first time I heard that, I was like, what? It was Jean Coutu, I think. They said, if you're not 15 or 10 minutes early, you're late.
Yeah.
And I was like, do I get in trouble? They're like, no, you don't get in trouble, but we're just telling you lifestyle-wise,
Yeah.
if you're not early, you're late.
Yeah.
And shit like that, if you do it, you're right about the McDonald's thing, because I know, like, my buddy Milton, he was in McDonald's for years. He was, like, employed. He learned a lot that he applies today. Like, you learn a lot in those jobs that suck. You're just not supposed to do them for your whole life. Unless you're moving up and you become the owner or the manager or some shit, you're not supposed to always be the clerk at McDonald's.
Yeah.
You're supposed to learn and move on. And sadly, Poseidon, you know, it's not the case because we still see a lot of people that 40 years old.
Yeah.
But to me, it means to me, I look at a lot and I tell people, if we have a meeting at 10:30 and you're late, that's time you're losing, because at 11 I have something to do. So
Exactly. Yeah, I can't stay.
I'm not.
I can't make up for your lateness.
No, like even here, you see I'm half an hour early. Why? Because this has been conditioned in me. So I remember when I was working at McDonald's, we would punch in, let's say I had a shift 11 to 5. At 10:50, the supervisor would come. She would sit by the punch clock and see who's in line. And at like 10:55, I was there. 11, you have to punch in. 11:02 should be warning in my office. You're late. 11:01, you're late.
Christ.
Yeah.
That's how it is. If you're
how
not
it is.
willing, I tell people, if you're not willing to do that, stay home.
Yeah.
Because eventually,
But you learn, Poseidon, it sounds like the way we're describing it, it sounds like, fuck, you guys were mistreated.
No.
But I'm telling you, at the time, the first time, it's shocking, but you learn so much, and it depends who you are as a person. Some people, they learn, like me, I learned like, okay, number one, I can't be this my whole life. I can't have somebody over my head being like, you're a minute, I can't. So I got to create my own thing, you know? But at the same time, it taught me that the reason why all their stuff works is because they take every detail, like the minute, serious.
Seriously,
If they didn't, because once you start slacking, you're like, what's a minute? What's 2 minutes? It slowly starts becoming to what's 5, what's 10, what's $5, what's $10. It seeps into everything.
Yeah, good point.
You have to have a consistency and standards.
Yeah.
You have to have it.
So
So
true.
it depends on your work. You could apply it differently, but you learn a lot from those jobs. If you're willing to learn, take in. I learned like, okay, they take it so serious, but they're also $1 billion corporation.
Yeah.
Like, so take what they take serious, you know, try to pull the best that you can and apply it to your life. And it helps.
They have to. Like, let's say they say 11, you start at 11, but 11:01 is not late. Well, is 11:05 late?
Yeah.
11:11 is...
Poseidon, think about dieting. You apply it to dieting. Like, oh, bro, it's just a pizza. Oh, bro, you get it.
Same thing.
What's the big deal? And we saw this with the $5,000 challenge this year.
Yeah.
How it adds.
I didn't
it
know
adds
this,
to it.
Poseidon. They were going to give you $5,000.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it, bro.
No.
You didn't tell me about this, bro.
He's gonna because
I
now
should have spoken to him about it, actually.
You never told me, man.
I should have told him.
$5,000. I would have lost. I would have tied you up in my house. I thought you give me half.
yeah, exactly. You guys could
I
have
would have
split.
bought a treadmill with like handcuffs and just make him
When
run.
he's committed, he would have eaten it. Don't worry, he would have. No. He was committed to not lose that weight. He rebelled against himself. He's a big rebel.
But it's true what you're saying.
Rebel without a cause, as they say.
Yeah, no cause.
That is applied to everything.
It
If you
applies
don't
to
apply
everything.
everything.
But him, the only way I get him to understand is by giving him examples of himself. Then he gets it right away. I'd be a good school teacher. I'd tap into that. Like him, a lot of stuff. He's like, this is so stupid. And then the second you tell him, well, what about this in your life? He's like, oh, I could apply it now.
Yeah, you have to.
And that was my problem in school too. It was I couldn't apply stuff until the second I'd get a good example. Then I would understand. I'd be like, oh fuck. So I do the same thing to him. So like the 1 minute thing, he's like, fuck, what's a minute? But if I apply it to the $5,000, what's a pizza? What's this? He's like, oh fuck, that's exactly how I fucked up the diet.
See, I'm military with my son.
Every slice was $1.
Every slice was $1 a minute or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah,
I'm
but that's what I'm saying. Those jobs, bro, they suck, and you don't want to do them for your whole life. But if you get them as a part-time job at the right time, it's like joining a hockey team at the right time.
Yeah.
You learn so much, bro.
I never did those jobs.
He never did those jobs. Or
You know what?
I always worked in sales.
I
though,
challenge
but
you.
the
Should
thing
go
is-
work at McDonald's, Poseidon.
Hold on, but
No. Now he'll kill someone. She's too late.
yeah, I worked in sales my whole life, and the managers that I had
They were all
early on.
rob people.
No. Like especially my first manager at Telus, she was telling me, look, if you hit your quotas, store's clean, and all the shipments are accounted for, received, and all the shipments that need to go out are done. That's your duties.
Yeah.
You could do whatever the fuck you want.
So he got in a results based business before he ever went into a structured one.
Yeah.
So he had the results part of, oh shit, if I hit 1, 2, 3, I get the reward.
Yeah.
But he never got the structure part.
Yeah.
It's like being a very fast athlete, but you never got the technique of a certain sport.
I was
So you could be the
talented, but
fastest
without
guy.
work ethic, basically.
Yeah, you could be the fastest guy on the basketball court, but you have no idea how to take a shot.
Yeah.
So you're like, but I'm the fucking fastest. I'm like, yeah, but it's useless
Yeah,
because
it's
you're not
useless.
in the team sport. You're gonna need to know how to shoot, how to defend, all that. So that's why all of it is important. That's why the details. It's all in the details. You need.
In your business, if you're not detailed, like I mean, if you look at my website, I spend hours on the branding and everything. I'm like so anal that I've been told you're very anal. I
it's
want it
just
to
how
be
it is.
done a certain way. I want it to be done well because
I'm the same way. He's the same way too. When he needs something done, he wants it a specific
But
way.
not to say that if I didn't do it well, she would be like, "Yo, you're fucking slacking."
Yeah, but even you now, you're like me.
Yeah.
If he wants something a specific way, he wants a specific way. He's not gonna like there's certain stuff. The reason why you want them a specific way is you know the reason.
Yeah.
So when someone debates you, you're not even willing. You're like, look, just fucking do it the way. We're all the same way. Like he has that too.
But
I feel like you eventually develop that naturally.
Yeah, you need to know.
Especially if you're thinking of your career and shit. You develop that, and it comes to you naturally. You're like, fuck no, I can't.
I need it done.
I can't be the way I was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
you have to, because
gotta
at some
tighten
point
up.
it's going to catch up to you, and you're
Yeah.
going to realize that nobody's going to want to work with you, that you're going to lose your job, lose opportunity, and you're going to lose trust with people. Once you lose trust with people, it's over.
Oh, dude,
It's over. To me, when somebody when somebody shows up late or doesn't commit to what they say, it's done. I don't want to work with you. I'm next. You're already done. I'm not wasting my time.
Us, we've had conversations about shit like that. Also, we've gotten fucked over by people that we didn't think we'd get fucked over by, and it's like, God damn. Do you know what I mean? Like it's so easy to lose someone's trust.
So easy.
And no matter what you do, they always have in the back of their mind. Like they can never fully, especially if it's a big, like, not a fuck up, but a big, like, screw over.
Yeah.
Bro, it's hard for you to forgive that type of shit.
There's certain, look, I tell people this. If you fuck with my business, I go, it's simple. If you fuck with my business, you're fucking with me feeding my son.
Yeah. So I'm not going to
like
live
that is where I draw the line with anything, because that I need my business, because I tell people, and I've said this, and someone didn't kind of to them, it didn't make sense. I said, first comes my business. The first thing comes my business before my son. Like, well, what do you mean? Because my son eats off
My business.
my business. So I take my business very seriously because my business has to run. So everything else runs well because I have a mortgage. You know, I have everything. So it depends. So I take my business. I say, don't play around with that. You know, so in terms of my business, my reputation, you know, okay, and people say shit, whatever. But I mean, there's a limit that with that, I take it so seriously. And you have to, if you're not going to take it at 100% and put it as a priority, and you're like, oh, work on it tomorrow. Oh, we'll see. I'm going to go out with my friends.
It never does. It's like it trickled down. I notice even myself when I put, like, there's certain stuff that I'll procrastinate on for like strategic reasons because I work well under pressure. So if there's something that's due, whatever, sometimes I'll be like, no, I'll get, like, I'll think in my head, I'll go like, okay, the maximum I need is I got to get, like, I don't know, I could do 5 pages a day for this script if I start doing it then, you know, and I kind of push myself to do it later on because I know I won't have a chance to fuck around. Now I have to do it.
Yeah.
But I every time I'll put something off that doesn't need to be put off, I fuck it up.
Yeah.
I fuck it up. It's like, fuck, I should have done that then. You know what I mean? So now I do stuff early. I'll buy shit early. He knows a lot of the upgrades that we made to the studio, we weren't even able to use till like weeks or months later. But I still, I'm like, no, we're future-proofing.
Yeah,
I'm preparing for the next
point,
thing.
yeah.
I'm preparing for the next thing. Like, I'm very anal about that type of shit.
You have to, because if you're just, I mean, if you're always like trying to wing it and going in the moment, everything, you have to always be months ahead of what you want to do. Like even me for New Year's, I'm going to sit. And the difference between me and a lot of people is that whatever I say for my New Year's, I have a target. I'm going to come out with 4 new online self-defense courses.
Do you get a lot of people that come to you and go, look, I have a New Year's resolution and I want to lose weight, and then like 3 weeks later, a month, they disappear?
Like lately, I've had a pretty good track record. Like the people who've come to me have been pretty consistent because I make them accountable. I make them write stuff. I follow, I monitor. Hey, what's going on? They see me. And I tell them at the end, don't waste my time. If you want to don't waste my time. I don't care about the money.
Yeah.
Like I really don't. Like I'm busy enough. I want to know that you're dedicated, that you're going to get results, that you're going to work for it. If not, don't come here. And I said this to a woman I used to train. I said, stop wasting your money and your time.
What? She'd show up and just wouldn't do it?
Half the time she wouldn't show up. Half the time she had an excuse. So I'm like, you're wasting your money, you're wasting your time, and you're wasting mine. I'd rather give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that right now in your life, this is not a priority. When it's a priority, you let me know and you come back, the door's open. But right now, go do your thing.
Yeah.
And it took that. And what actually happened with that woman, she came back a year and a half later. This was a couple of years ago. Sat in my gym. I go, you're going to leave now. You're not going to lose the weight. And the time is going to go by and you'll be back here again. So she left a year and a half. She came back, sat in my gym. She cried and she's like, I'm serious now. I'm going to do it. I go, I don't believe you. Why should I believe you? What's so different now?
How did you get in here?
Right? So then she actually
Door's locked.
she actually started writing to me. And one of the things was she went, I can't remember, this was like a few years ago. She went to an event and somebody called her fat or did something.
This is an adult woman?
Yeah, adult woman.
That is a weird line for an adult man at an event.
And she
Welcome to the party, fatty. Like, Steve, you're 40.
It was me.
Yeah.
It was me.
But
He was looking in a mirror. She felt seen.
it was Poseidon.
He was
bro.
psyching himself up.
It was Poseidon.
Get on the treadmill, fatty. Get on the treadmill. She's like, oh my God, not this again. He's like, what's this fat bitch talking about?
But you know what? Somebody made a comment and it took that for her to say, I'm going to do it. And she lost almost 80 or 90 pounds in almost a year, you know? But like, I go, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it once and we're going to do it right.
Nice.
And that's what it takes. Sometimes, unfortunately, it takes a really hard moment in your life.
It takes failure. Everything takes failure. I've
yeah.
noticed all my successes come after devastating failures.
Yeah. And I think that's what so many people don't go out and do it because of the fear of failure.
Oh, it's unavoidable.
Yeah, you will. It's impossible. You're going to get everything right. It's impossible.
No. What do you think? You're me?
Yeah.
No, I fail all the time. And that's part of the game.
Yeah.
You have to fail.
You have to.
I've never met that. Like, everyone's failing. It's impossible not to fail.
Yeah.
But you get up. It's the Rocky. No joke.
Yeah,
You
it's a
fucking
Rocky.
fall down 6 times. You get up 7. That's it.
And eventually, every time you fail, You just get better at doing it.
You get better at. By the way, this is applying for legal stuff, not to rapists. Okay, don't use any of this advice, you sons of bitches, and turn it around on us.
The rape jokes.
Well, this was more of a rapist joke, but
Rapist.
I feel you. Poseidon has a great rape joke. Yeah.
I'm very proud of it.
He can't say it though. It's for the stage. Then people are gonna know his punchline. It's a good punchline. Yeah. It is a very good punchline.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a good
Coming from you, I really do appreciate it.
I still can't believe Poseidon had a chance to win $5,000. Poseidon, I think he didn't tell me on purpose.
Oh, of course he didn't
I
tell you
would
on
have
purpose.
fucking
No,
done it.
honestly,
I would have got a whip.
Bro,
and just been
back
like,
in the day, he used to have another trainer.
Chodro run.
Hold
We used to
on,
go to
hold
the
on.
gym on St. Lawrence. He used to have another trainer. He used to lie, bro. It was the funniest thing. And then I didn't realize that he was lying until the trainer told me, because we were out one night. And the trainer's like, fuck, bro, I've been trying very hard with him. Like, I work out, I tell him my meal plan, whatever. This guy keeps fucking gaining weight. So then he asked me one
did
day,
lose 60 pounds,
it was a Saturday, and he tells me, he's like, because I guess he had asked Poseidon, what'd you eat yesterday? So Poseidon had lied to him, but I didn't know. So he tells me, like, were you with, I go, yeah, I was with, what did you eat yesterday? What did he eat? I was like, I don't know, he had a pizza, he had this, he had that. And then I didn't know that Poseidon was bullshitting the guy. So the guy's like, this is why he can't lose weight. So the guy was losing his fucking mind because he was fucking training. The guy was jacked, he was doing it. So he's telling Poseidon what to do. He's training with Poseidon. He sees Poseidon doing the training. He's telling him what to do. Poseidon's like, I'm eating that. He's like, how the fuck is this guy not losing weight? It's because Poseidon was like, of course I'm on my fucking bananas, I'm on my lettuce. But the guy's eating fucking pizzas, desserts.
The thing
So
is-
he was negating all the work that he was doing.
So I omitted facts. I didn't outright lie. So I was eating what he told me to eat, but I was also adding extra stuff that weren't needed. So I'm very sneaky like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I won't blatantly lie, but I'll pull a little shit like
He's a
that.
liar. He's a liar.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
a
But
fucking.
hold on.
But that's the tough part. And I tell people, my clients, I'm like, they're not losing weight. And I'm like, well, I go, you're here with me 3 hours a week. But the work happens once you walk out of here, right? Like
Yeah.
I tell them, write down what you eat. They never do. I remember one guy's like, yeah, I eat really well. I said, can you write down what you eat for the week so I can do it? Like, you had McDonald's, a muffin? Like, what do you call this
Yeah.
eating well? Like, he's like, yeah, but I'm hungry. Yeah, but that's not eating well. And then you understand why you're not losing weight. I mean,
100%.
By the way, I'm even more upset now at the $5,000 because I just realized I had fucking Nick, bro. I'm
Yeah.
more upset at myself.
No, you
I
know
told
what?
him, come
This is
every
not
day
even a
and
joke.
train.
You could have 5,000. Okay, but you could have actually made 2,500. No joke. You could have split half with him because tell him, Nick, you just have to keep me on a leash. We're both making money.
Yeah.
You would have, instead of $0, you would have made 2,500.
Yeah.
He would have got paid for his work
Yeah.
by 2,500 by fucking working your ass out.
And now I would have had that would have 100% worked because now I have somebody else's money at stake.
I would have.
Yeah. exactly.
I'm very toxic with myself, or in the sense that, like, if it's my money on stake, for some reason I don't.
But you
take it
wouldn't
as
want
seriously.
to fuck him over by spending all those hours with you not getting
But
paid.
I know, yeah, exactly. I don't like to
I
fuck
would have
with other
stapled his
people's.
fucking mouth together, bro.
Yeah.
I'd have
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I don't like to fuck with other people's.
No, it would have
money.
been good. And he could have used that money now because he has no more car. So he could have
Yeah.
used that money to look at.
Poseidon, it's all your fucking fault, man.
It is.
He knows. He obviously. Who
Yeah,
else
I
is
know,
fault?
I know, I
You understand?
know.
We would keep every couple of weeks. I'd be like, guys, you have to bring it back up to him because he's gaining weight. I could see it. Like,
Yeah.
we have to bring it back up to him. I would try, and then he'd get upset. He's like, it's one pizza, bro. It's one this. And then I realized, I go, I can't yell at him anymore because it doesn't work.
I started really strong, but then I went off.
But
the
I
rails.
told him, I go, Poseidon, we start at 2. If you show at 2:15, you just lost
15 minutes, yeah.
1:45. You're there. 2:00 on the dot. 2:00. We're not warming up. 2:00 we start. I mean, that's how structured you have to be in terms of losing your like when you want to do this. So your
know
weight
what, though?
loss.
Yeah.
You know how you say it's people take L's.
Yeah.
I took this L after this moment. Bro, I'm getting jacked, bro.
I hope so,
I'm
but
gonna
I
lose
feel like in
fucking
6 months he's gonna be like, "Whoa, whoa, I want your Jack in the Box."
You don't understand? I've actually been fighting demons because of this. Like, I'm very upset at myself.
Wait, is the $5,000 still gonna apply?
Yeah.
No, the $5,000's
No,
lost.
it's not. It's gone. That's gone.
Yeah.
But I'm so upset at myself. I got so upset at myself that I started fighting old demons, bro. So I'm very upset. So I'm saying it here. I'm gonna fucking get ripped.
But here's the
back.
thing: don't
After
say
this
it.
L.
Yeah.
Do
I keep
it.
telling, oh, bro,
Do it.
You sound
Yeah,
like,
I
I know inside now he
Don't
got
say
tingles.
it. Do it.
Because
So
you just
easy.
pissed him off. Because that I had the same car. Because he'll say I told him what he does. He puts all his energy in here in his head, like thinking of stuff, and then saying, building all his energy. He's like, it's gonna, and then he tires himself out. He's like, woof. But he accomplished nothing. I go, don't just do it. Just do it. Don't
yeah.
spend the energies. But he does it all the time. I'm glad that you called him out on that.
But if you do it, it's not enough to say I'm gonna do it. Tell me how you're going to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
What
know, I know.
days
That's where
you're
you
gonna
put the
train.
energy, the
Yeah.
planning,
Time,
the
yeah.
structure.
Yeah.
I'm
And
gonna
it's
have
got to be
to-
detailed. It has to be realistic
I
too
have
with
to
your
write down.
lifestyle.
I have to write down a new schedule.
He has everything at his disposal to do whatever he wants. He's got the time. He has the
Yeah.
He has the know-how. He has he has everything at his disposal to get ripped. He has everything at his disposal to start. We have a network here. He can
Yeah.
start his own fucking fitness show. He could do what he has at his disposal. All the tools to do whatever the fuck he dreams of.
You guys even have a space. You put some weights, some kettlebells. You could have a little workout right
I'm
over
not gonna
here.
let him stink this place up. But but the point is, he has everything at his disposal
Actually,
to do.
he can't gain weight. I want him to stay fat
Why?
because in the short film I wrote, he's gonna be the guy who handles the money.
Oh,
He's gonna be the gangster.
Well, look, he's severely overweight now. So even if he starts losing weight, he's still gonna be a big guy. Let him be a big jack guy.
Big jack guy.
Yeah. Because
I've done progress already on
Food?
No.
Chin-ups?
Yeah, chin-ups.
Nice.
I've done
It's
progress.
stronger.
Food, I'm working on it.
Okay, so if your chin-ups are doing better, imagine how amazing they're gonna be when you're gaining strength, but you've lost weight.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's
yeah.
even lighter to pull
Oh,
yourself
yeah,
up.
yeah. I'll
You're gonna be able to pull yourself out of a sewer.
Yeah, there you go. That's
A
the
Ninja
one.
Turtle.
That's what
The Ninja Turtle.
I wanna, when I hit rock bottom, I wanna be able to pull myself out of that barrel, bro.
Oh, well, that was a long time ago. We've been down here a while.
We're gonna fill it up with water.
Yeah, but it's not happening. Anyways, Nick, this is what we're gonna do. Anyone who doesn't know you
Yeah.
should fucking know you. But all your links are already in the description. Are you giving out? So even if they're not in Montreal right now, people could take your
Yeah,
online classes.
stuff. Yeah.
So there's no reason not to.
There's no reason not to. And it's, I mean, like I said, I trained a guy from Poland yesterday, Russia, from all around the world.
Was he a
It's
mercenary?
easy. I don't know, actually. Some of the guys are pretty sketchy now.
Yeah,
I
you
have
never
some
know. Yeah.
sketchy guys adding me, yes, Mr. Nick, I want to learn a knife defense, tactical defense.
These Ukrainians are getting out of hand.
I'm like, okay, can you show me how to use a knife and not only defend it against a knife? Well, I said, yeah, I could show you to defend. If you like, hold the knife this way, come there. I'm like,
But how I stab twist? How I stab twist? And you're like, well, that's another class. It's gonna cost you $50 extra, but I'll show you how to stab twist. But yeah, Nick Drossos is online. Nick Self-Defense. He's on Instagram. He's on Twitter. He's on the YouTube. All the links are already in the description. Follow Nick. And I'm telling you, if you want to lose weight, sign up to the class. You don't have to go in anymore. You could just do it online. But don't do what Poseidon did. Listen to him when he tells you what to eat. It's all part of the system. It's true. It's all part of weight training is one thing. Learning stuff is another. And then eating. It all goes together.
comes down, yeah.
And then you get jacked and you could get roles in movies. That's how this works.
Yeah.
Nick, thank you for being here, you jackhammer.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We've built this prison cell, 'cause we can't trust ourselves.